All right, welcome to another episode from the Chart Reader. So kind of an interesting mix of stocks here, but I'm a little bit on the busy side, so that's why we're grouping these together. I want to look at NVIDIA, I want to look at DJT, and I think BuzzFeed is worth the eyes if I've got some time on this thing, all right? But NVIDIA, today's an interesting day. Today's arguably a scary day, but again, I always say it. You can't get too excited up and you can't get too scared down on a single candle. But that's a bit of a scary candle, and I'll obviously talk about more detail shortly, but we are under both the 8 and the 20, and tomorrow's confirmation is going to be really, really big, okay? With DJT, obviously we see it. A lot of red that can easily turn to some nice green. There's a presidential election not that far around the corner, and you always hear me say whenever the Trump name is in the news, you gotta come bring your eyes to DJT, all right? And then BuzzFeed, BZFD? Yeah, BuzzFeed. This is an interesting little chart right here, all right? And obviously we need to confirm, we still need more, but red could be a nice little green on a good bounce from the 50. And just as we zoom out, we're at a pretty interesting place, as you can kind of see right there, right? So obviously I'll talk about all that and more. I at least wanted to give a little extra detail on BuzzFeed just in case we don't come to it. But before we do go any further and I give you more of my thoughts and opinions, what are we going to do? Same thing we always do, right? We'll take a look at the daily and the weekly to see how these things are setting up short term. We have our 5 moving averages. Oh man, I know if I have any, they're super far down. I don't even have any. I'll draw some horizontal support and resistance lines up here. And then when we are done, we will use the MACD, RSI, and volume as our lower indicators. Hey, really quickly, if you can, please subscribe to this channel. Share this video online with your friends. Comment good or bad if you disagree. Look, anything you can do helps so much with these YouTube algorithms. But for real, just being here, giving me your time, oh, I am so grateful for it. All right, so let's talk about NVIDIA. And look, before I really give any more like thoughts, because there's going to be a couple like, I'm a little worried comments here and there. NVIDIA deserves all that it deserves. And I know a lot of people have been saying this thing's too hot. It's going to like crash this. Listen, AI is here to stay. And it's like back in the gold rush, right? It's not the miners that did well. Look, obviously some did. Obviously some found enough gold for generational wealth that still rules the countries to this day, right? The people that did well in the gold rush were the ones that sold the pickaxes that everyone bought. They were the ones that set up the general stores when everybody had to come home and eat after a hard day's work, right? NVIDIA is the auxiliary that allows AI companies to do their thing. And regardless if OpenAI is the best, if Microsoft, if whoever, most of them need to come to NVIDIA. And to be the king of the pickaxe sellers back in the gold rush, oh man, how can you think it's going to lose? Now, some might argue is the gold rush and go away, blah. Listen, AI is here for a while, all right? And that's a different conversation. That's very much my opinion, right? It's not like I have like a fact or a crystal ball that really says that, right? But computers are better than human minds. It is what it is. And that word better, I'm sure, is a very touchy point as well. But yeah, I think the pickaxe in the gold mine days was the point of that whole little ramble right there, all right? So let's talk technicals. This doesn't look fantastic, all right? We literally have 4 indicators, basically. You can say 5 if you want to include my drawn lines, right? But we have moving averages up here. We have the MACD, we have the RSI, and we have volume. This doesn't look great. This doesn't look great. This doesn't look great. And this doesn't look great. And when all 4 don't look great, you kind of have to start assuming things aren't going to look great, okay? Now, granted, this is just a single candle under a very important line, all right? So if you watch my videos before, you already know this. If you haven't, listen, the 8 and the 20 are like brother and sister. They're like best friends, okay? And sometimes you'll lose one and the other one will catch and do the job. You can beautifully see that with NVIDIA for a very long time. All we do is bounce on the 8, occasionally drop, the 20 does the job. Boom, right? And you're just seeing it go up and down the 8 and the 20. Look, we have seen it lose the 20, come down to the 50, right? That happens right here. Actually come down all the way to the 100 before doing the beautiful recovery that we knew and remember. And again, this was in the thousands before we did the forward split, right? I'll talk about the forward split shortly, of course. NVIDIA does really well. NVIDIA is a stock that can use the 8 and the 20 well. And despite how scary this looks, you kind of have to give it the benefit of the doubt. Like, there is a very realistic shot that we're going to recover the average 20. You can see that's at look at that, 121.12. That's a good number right there. But yeah, this thing really can regain 122 very easily. And despite the not best MACD, not best RSI, and not great volume, I'll get to these again shortly, I gotta give it the benefit of this is a stock that does well with the 8 and the 20, okay? If we lose the 8 and the 20, it makes a little bit of sense to me that we're gonna fall here, basically 110, basically the bottom of that candle. I'll even try to make it a little bit. Look, my lines aren't here for perfect, 110.12. That seems like the line. If we lose this, we're probably going to come pretty fast down to the 50 average sitting at 101, okay? Again, I really want to see this thing regain 122. If it can regain 122, my next target's going to be this 128, 129 line, all right? If we can get back over 129, 130, we're thinking all-time highs. That's all you can do here, okay? I'm never a fan when you have red over green on both the MACD and the RSI. What I also don't like is they're both diverging poorly. So divergence is just two lines going away from each other. I want the green to diverge up, 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 up. This is kind of making me think that we're diverging down, 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 right? So not the prettiest. Look, our RSI was living 83, 81. It was living in this 80s, 90s world. And that's not very normal, right? So it makes sense to me that we need a little bit of a healthy cool down. The emphasis really is on healthy, okay? I think the RSI can come, oh man, we're basically there, so maybe it even comes as low as that. It might come to 47. That's not that far from here. It's not. Maybe even this might hold it. Maybe the top of the candle ends up holding it. I don't like drawing lines that tight. You know what? Let's just take the average of both. Let's call it the half of that guy. I'm gonna delete that guy. So I did my best to put that line at about half of that candle instead of the bottom and the top. I think 112.30 makes, let's just call it 112. I think 112 makes a good amount of sense. Hopefully that's a place where it bounces a little bit before the 50. Hopefully the RSI just can get down and come up. But yeah, definitely not the best here. End of the day, even with not the best here, until I see the horrible, I gotta assume NVIDIA is gonna recover, all right? The one thing to note, look, NVIDIA is the king. It's the queen for my ladies out there, right? And SPY is taking a 3-day dip because NVIDIA. NASDAQ's doing the same. Let's just look at QQQ. It's taking a good little 3-day dip from NVIDIA, right? This still has room to come down to the 20 and still be healthy. That was actually the same thing I saw with SPY, right? And it's not a crazy fall. I think as I'm looking at that, it makes me like that 112 line just a little bit more, okay? Look, things don't look fantastic because this is NVIDIA. I just, you gotta give it the benefit of the doubt. When, you know, I don't want to make another dumb analogy. Oh, I love my line even more now. Look at that. It's basically sitting at the 8 moving average. 8 moving average is 111.99 right? So I think that 112 line is a beautiful line. So let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinion. Oh, I didn't. The last thing I want to talk about, forward split. Forward splits are good. Okay, forward splits are good. I realize we're basically right back down to where that is, and we're actually maybe even a little bit under, and you know, someone might be saying, oh, that's bad, right? Listen, a forward split is not so that the daily chart can do well. The Forward split is so that the monthly, quarterly, and yearly can do well, right? Like this move was for 3 years down the line, not for today. You know what I mean? And forward splits are great because the logic is my price is so high, I'm losing the retail investors. And let's bring it back down just so that everyone could start. It's much easier for someone to say, I'll throw in $100 than it is for someone to say, I'll throw in $1,000. So when you're going to move a decimal, a 10-to-1 split, it really, really brings not just the attention, but the ability to buy. All right. Listen, we're still over the 50. We're still over the 100. We still haven't touched the 200 since we made the run last year, right? So the 100's been a beast. It has, and we're still lines away from that. The 50's been a beast. We're still a bit away from that, right? So, and then I mean, this is, it's okay. It's not looking great, but it's okay. I kind of rambled for an extra minute, but with NVIDIA, I thought it was worth doing it. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions, even if you disagree. DJT. So let's talk a little bit about DJT. A few interesting things to talk about. I kind of want to talk a little bit about the past before I talk about my immediate thoughts, all right? Really quickly, please, if you can subscribe, if you can share, it does wonders with these algorithms. So there is a lot of red, green, red, right? And that's one of my favorite rhymes in my video because it's really easy to remember, and man, it really works. When you fall, and you get caught by the right moving average, you get caught by the right support, whatever it might be, oh man, that elevator down can be a beautiful stairway up, but if you're not careful, you will slip right back down the elevator, right? And that's this little parabolic world that I personally love, right? Like that's what we're chasing in this game of rockets. And this is potentially setting up for another run, okay? I really am not the biggest fan that this closed under the 8 moving average, all right? I really wish this closed just a couple pennies higher, and man, my thoughts would have been 40 plus on this video. At the moment, I need a little bit more. Okay, look, that's good volume after Friday. That's a good candle after Friday's doji. We're back over the 200 by a lot, I would say as well. Again, I just wish we got over the 8, okay? I have seen stocks that just can't get over the 8, even though it looks like it easily should, all right? So I'm literally, if this thing only closed, what? $1, little less than $1 more, it would have been a very different video. And that's the power of these lines, in my opinion, all right? So the 8 average is actually at 34 flat. What's the top of you? 3402. I need a little bit more than 3402. Where are you? Nope. Where are you? That's too high. Okay, I'm just going to draw an alert because it's basically right at 34 flat. I'm going to call it 3406. I wouldn't mind knowing what happens at 3406 because, again, I'll delete the lines because it's more about the moving averages than anything. But I'm just seeing red, green, red. I would love a very fast channel between 34 and change and 41 and change. That's really good trading right there. That's more than 20%. You're basically adding about 7. Yeah, that's almost 20% flat right there, okay? If we're able to break that cluster of lines, that's when we're going to start thinking bigger things, okay? I'm actually even willing to lower this 52 line. Man, this 52 line, that's actually a really big line. I want to keep it. I'm not going to draw this, but yeah, if we can get into the 44s, that's going to be the next big tranche up to 52. But for now, I think the most we can really think about is making that 34-ish to 41 move if we get over the 8 moving average, okay? Excuse me. Listen, there is a presidential debate coming up. Again, my video isn't about who you think's going to win the debate, who you're going to vote for, none of that, right? But when Trump, oh, my cat's at the door. What are you doing? Are you going to come in? Come on in. Okay, when Trump is in the news, you gotta come to DJT. It is what it is, you know. And there's gonna be a lot of media hyping the debate. There's gonna be a lot of media covering the debate, and there might be even a little bit of media after it, right? So, buy the rumor, sell the news. I would play the hype of the debate, and then again from there we'll see what the outcome is, what's said, and how much that drives stuff, right? But yeah, if we can get over the 8 moving average, I think there's a real good reason to think 41. MACD is still negative, right? We're close to the positive, but RSI seem to be turning around. But look, there are stocks. This one's not the best of examples. There are stocks that go really low, like this RSI was a 9. It definitely needs to come back up. Sometimes it comes back up just so that it can come back down. Instead of a healthy cool down, you get these bad cool ups, like the you know, different things you can call that. But so far so good. I need a little bit more. I do see it going up after hours. Trust me, I'm seeing the little blue guy go. I don't care about that. We need to open over and break 34 convincingly before this is worth it. But again, that's a beautiful 20% move if it comes, all right? Let's look at the weekly. Yeah, let's look at the weekly. Look at that. This is a great weekly. Red, 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 green, 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 red, 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 green, 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 green. This thing is saying 42 and change. The daily is saying 41 and change. It's actually saying 42 basically. It's saying 41.50, right? So I would lean towards 41.50 just to be safe, but I love it when the daily and the weekly is giving me the same number. So let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions, even if you disagree. I want to look at this one really quickly. BuzzFeed. All right, so BuzzFeed has an interesting little play here, all right? And really, it's been trying to break all the moving averages and run. It's interesting that right here, it didn't happen because that's a decent candle. That one really is right there. That's a nice after. I would have called that confirmation. What are you doing? Don't meow that much. I'm making videos. Oh my gosh. And now granted, it obviously kept going up, right? But it was never really able to escape from the 8 moving average, and it never just, I don't know. It's interesting it never did it. I think a lot of it is just this volume never really kicked. We make a green, 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 green to red, 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 red little fall, but the 50 moving average held it. We've bounced back over, and look, this is a decent attempt. I got to give my cat attention. I got to go quick. Positive MACD, nice little RSI. If we confirm, it's hard to not think 3. If we can break this little, like, we're in a place where if we start to kiss 3, man, we might be making a move to maybe that to 4. That's not bad right there. That's a 33% channel if it hits right there, right? So I really wanted to give more thoughts. I got to give this little one her attention. I'm so sorry. Hey, have a great one, everyone. Let me know your opinions.